Hey guys, I'm AfroGeek PlusUltraNappy and welcome back to a brand new video. So once again, I'm going to be dabbling within the Cartoon Network universe. And by that, I mean, I'm going to be talking to you guys about some Cartoon Network shows. Me, I was born in the 90s, but I was introduced to a lot of good shows around the early 2000s. Cartoon Network throughout the years has gathered a lot of cult classic shows and original movies. And at the same time, they have developed some awful shows. And by that, I'm going to be reviewing those awful bad shows. Unfortunately, I wish I could be doing more within the good Cartoon Network shows, but I figured that I'd save for another video, maybe somewhere in the future, or maybe for next year, since we are now officially in December. What the fuck? We are literally in the last month of 2020. One hell of a roller coaster, one hell of a year for everyone, and I'm sure everyone just wants to put this year behind them, start fresh with 2021. We're gonna go out on this channel with at least a couple good, decent videos. I can't guarantee you every video, but I'm gonna try and make sure I put a little bit of bangers in there here and there. So pretend like this jug of water is the good Cartoon Network shows. We're just gonna slide that to the side, and we're gonna be focusing on the terrible Cartoon Network shows. Whether it was reboots of old classic shows from like the early to mid 2000s, or if they were just really weird looking designed Cartoon Network shows, or if they were shows that were from other regions that just transitioned over into the US. And I will be including both Cartoon Network animated series, and I will be including some live action series as well. Unfortunately, I will be excluding Cartoon Network original movies because I'm sure there might have been some bad Cartoon Network original movies out there, but I'm not going to be talking about those. I'm just going to be focusing on the animated shows as well as live action shows. Now, granted, this is going off my own biased opinion. You do not have to take what I say very seriously. You may agree or disagree with what I have to say, and that's all up to you. And I'm sorry if I offend any of you out there that happen to like any of these shows that I list, but like I mentioned, I'm going based off of solely my own personal biased opinion. And I know that sounds terrible. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and they have the right to like what they like. So without further ado, that's enough jibber jabber. Let's go in and let's talk about some awful Cartoon Network shows. I have my MacBook next to me, and I'm just going to be listing off a couple shows, giving a short description on what I think of some of them, and yeah. So first on the list, I have Ben 10 2016. Ben 10 was a really good show, and that came out, I believe, in 2005, and that was created by Man of Action, and the show was already good enough. It spawned several spin-off series, including Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omnitrix, and a couple of movies, including 2 live-action movies, Ben 10 Race Against Time, Ben 10 Alien Swarm, and even a CGI animated film. For some reason, Cartoon Network decided to reboot Ben 10. Why? I don't know. It was already a good show as it is. Don't know why Cartoon Network thought that they needed to dabble and just redo it. I guess for a younger audience or today's audience, they wanted to do it. Don't know why, because sometimes people don't have cable. They have streaming services, and a lot of those Ben 10 shows, like the older ones, are on streaming services, as well as the 2016 one, unfortunately. This one just doesn't look good at all. The animation's different, and I'm fair to give new animations and even reboots of shows a fair chance. Nope, this shit did not amaze me. It seemed too targeted for kids, and yeah, Ben 10 was also targeted for kids too. Yeah, this one seemed like it was targeted for kids 3 or 4, starting at that age. I did not like it, not to mention everyone's design and looks different. Some of the original aliens that we grew up watching weren't in there. Some of them were replaced with whole new different aliens, and it just seemed like everything was like kid friendly while trying to be action-packed at the same time, and it's just like, no, you can't do that to Ben 10. Ben 10 was full of action, Vilgax, Kevin 11, and you can't just kidify that shit. That's like when they try to go back and kidify Dragon Ball Z by making Dragon Ball Z Kai. Like, no, you can't do that. Another one that I was not too impressed with was Apple and Onion. Now, I think Apple and Onion was one from Cartoon Network in the UK. I believe that series aired first in the UK, and then it transitioned over into the US. Now, don't quote me on it, but I believe that's what it was. A couple of the actors, or a good amount of them, I believe, are from the UK, and I'm pretty sure when I looked up info on this show, it started in the UK and then transitioned over to the US. And the show is just really odd. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's literally like an apple and an onion who are roommates and they just have a lot of misadventures together, and it's just the most randomest crap ever. And then you have like some man who is like either, I think he's like a falafel or a burrito, and it's like very stereotypical, kind of racist, very stereotypical characters in here, and the show just makes no sense. And like the comedy, or like at least the jokes that they say in this, not funny. It's just overall just a really weird show that I'm surprised is still going. You know, kids nowadays, they get impressed and easily amused by any TV show you throw at them, as long as it's like talking fruits and vegetables or just anything very vibrant and like goofy and fucking stupid. Kids will like it. I don't run Cartoon Network, I don't tell them what to put on the air. Mayo Mayo, Heroes of Pure Heart, I don't know what it was about this. The elements of what the show is trying to be, I just feel like is a bit overdone. When you had other shows like Thundercats series, I think that was like 2010s era, that was kind of decent. And then there was already like Adventure Time and a couple of those other shows that were kind of doing like that same kind of element that this show was doing, and I just felt like it's just too played out, not original. Then again, nothing is original anymore, and I don't know, it just seems like it's lacking something that makes it unique compared to other shows. Now this one is a no-brainer. I don't hate to say it because I really don't like this show. Teen Titans Go. Yes, they may have the original voice actors from the original Teen Titans, and yes, they may have made a Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go where we got to actually see some Teen Titans in a modern television like aspects, and we had that little thing at the end of Teen Titans Go to the movies where they teased a potential Teen Titans season 6. Teen Titans Go is ridiculously stupid. You have shows that are stupid funny, really trying too hard to be funny with like fart jokes, burp jokes, overplayed out stuff. It's just not good. I was willing to give it a chance because, okay, it's Teen Titans. This is the best we're gonna get for now. Animation is not terrible. The writing is just awful. The jokes are just really awful. And yeah, they're supposed to be immature-ish, childish jokes because it's a kid's show. It's targeted for kids, today's generation. It's sad that kids have to watch that when they could be watching the OG Teen Titans. That shit was real. Like, that shit really hit home versus this. Thundercats Roar. Now, why Cartoon Network had to continuously do something with Thundercats all the fucking time? Once again, they took something that was so surreal and so like action-packed and like enjoyable for adults and kids, and they just took the adult ratio aspect out of the show and just dumbed it down for kids. What's the point in that? Why would you do that to an already good show? Yes, Thundercats may be an old ass show and it's gone through a couple reboots on Cartoon Network, but still, why is this one show that Cartoon Network thinks they have to continuously try and reboot so many times? Just leave Thundercats alone. Victor and Valentino. Victor and Valentino, once again, was another one that I almost did not put on the list. I don't know. I simply just didn't like Victor and Valentino. Like, I have no, like, real in-depth explanation. I just really just honestly don't find it funny. I don't know. I just didn't find it funny, and it's just one of those Cartoon Network shows that just seems overdrawn. It's just a miss, in my opinion. Now, this one's an oldie, and a lot of you real OG Cartoon Network fans will remember this show. I only remembered reruns of this whenever Cartoon Network would show it, but Mike, Luke, and Og, I don't know. It was just something about it. It just, I don't know if it was the writing or if it was just the way it looked, but just as a kid, I could not pay attention for a lick of anything, bro. I could not pay attention to that show, you know, and there were other good shows out there at that time, so it was kind of like, why the fuck am I watching this when I could be watching Dexter's Lab or Cow and Chicken? Like, why am I watching this? It was just one of those shows that I just didn't quite understand. And I know some of you are probably going to be like, well, just because you don't understand the show doesn't make it a terrible show. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying that I just genuinely didn't find it entertaining for an older show. But then again, it was an older show back then. The writing was probably different then. I just wasn't a huge fan of it. Squirrel Boy. Now, Squirrel Boy was an older show that I vaguely remember, and I think that came out when I was in either elementary school or I just might have been entering middle school. Almost annoying. I don't know what it was. I just was not a huge fan of Squirrel Boy. Mixels. And then you... And then you have Mixels. 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 And then Do I really need to say more? This one, I might get a lot of shit for. But fuck it. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Yes, I know, a lot of you are gonna fucking dislike, unsub. I just did not like that show. That show was like, we already had Chowder. Chowder was good enough and just as weird. Flapjack just seemed out of place. I just could not find that show funny or entertaining. And I had friends that loved this show. I just didn't like it. I don't know, it just wasn't funny. It just seemed kind of whack and tacky. Maybe it was also because of the animation. I don't know. I just did not like Flapjack whatsoever. That show just did not appeal to me. The Problem Solvers. I don't know what it was about this show. I don't know. Someone just took a bunch of DMT and said, yo, I came up with the greatest fucking idea. Let's get like this dude and have like an abstract face. And let's get like this robot or this android that looks human but is a robot. And then let's get this Chewbacca ripoff and make them solve mysteries in like this weird DMT realm where it's like weird like characters that like move like this. The jokes are like weird and everything sounds auto-tuned and the music's real vaporwave warped. Let's really fuck with kids' minds. Yeah, Problem Solvers legit looked like a DMT trip. That show made no sense. The characters looked really fucking creepy. Secret Mountain Fort, awesome. Oh, I got a headache. Mad. Now, everybody remembers Mad magazines. Cartoon Network decided to make a Mad that legit looks like Robot Chicken for kids. Some of y'all may disagree, some of you may agree, but legit, Mad TV is literally like a kid version of Robot Chicken. Why do we need that? Who asked for that? Uncle Grandpa. Frickin' Uncle Grandpa. What's up with people in like making like trippy fucking shows? I genuinely don't get why Uncle Grandpa existed for so long like it did. How it got approved by Cartoon Network. If you can make shows like Uncle Grandpa and all these other random shows, I'm guessing people just giving shows to any fucking body nowadays. Have you even watched an episode of Uncle Grandpa? Like seriously, I guarantee you, if you got Boomerang, go turn it on at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go sit through an episode of Uncle Grandpa. And you tell me if you can sit there and make it through a whole damn episode. Because I can tell you what, it is so hard, especially as a kid, to sit through a full episode of Uncle Grandpa. The Powerpuff Girls 2016. Again, I don't know what was going on with Cartoon Network in 2016 where they were trying to reboot all these like older popular classic shows, Ben 10 and the Powerpuff Girls, but for some reason they were like, hey, let's reboot Powerpuff Girls. And already they're rebooting Powerpuff Girls again, but making it live action and targeted more towards adults. The 2016 Powerpuff Girls just was not right, man. Powerpuff Girls was already good in its prime. I just think that that was something that just did not need to be rebooted. Maybe if you were gonna make like a Cartoon Network special, sure, but it did not need to be rebooted for another damn series. It didn't have that classic outro. Fighting crime, trying to save the world. If it ain't got that shit, I ain't watching it. Mighty Magisword. It just was one of those shows where it was like, we got swords, we're a random collective group of people and we're gonna fight demons and crap. Okay, KO, let's be heroes. Not funny. So now I just talked about all the animated stuff. We're gonna get into the live action shows now. Destroy, Build, Destroy. Don't get me wrong, Andrew WK is a pretty cool person. He seems cool. I know he does a lot of music and he seems like he'd be a very interesting person to hang out with. Something about him on that show was just really fucking funny. And yeah, kids got to blow shit up. I feel like that was something that could have came out earlier. Is this random? The High Fructose Adventures of the Annoying Orange. Essentially the Annoying Orange.
But the show had Toby Turner in it. Tobuscus.
Does it look like I give a fuck who was in that show? Annoying Orange to me was never funny, nor was it gonna be funny when it was on a Cartoon Network show. I don't know what it was. Maybe whoever made the Annoying Orange was just trying to chase a bag, you know, trying to get that money. I ain't gonna hate on you, but the show and the YouTube videos are just awful. Just not funny, really annoying, hence the Annoying Orange. I would rather watch Two Girls in One Cup over watching the Annoying Orange. Incredible Crew. This was when Nick Cannon was like really in the scene and really trying to do stuff. He was, you know, chairman, or he was like a higher up on Teen Nick. He was running stuff on Cartoon Network. It's like another version of all that, where it's a comedy sketch show. You get a bunch of kids, like teenagers, and they do comedy sketch stuff. And a lot of people who are big now are in it, like Jeremy Shada, who voices Finn in Adventure Time, and then he's on the Voltron show that's on Netflix, and then he has his new show that's on Netflix right now that's picking up a lot of buzz. Shamik Moore, who was in The Get Down, and he voiced Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse. In a way, you can't really blame him for making that. I felt like around that time especially, we were missing a lot of like the comedy sketch stuff. Now sure, we had Key and Peele, who did adult comedy stuff, and then we had all that, but it kind of was like nice to have something similar to all that be done, especially on Cartoon Network. So granted, I'll give him props for trying to do that on a network that hasn't really dabbled in comedy sketch, but the show and a lot of the sketches were really not that funny. Hence why the show really, I think, only lasted for like 1 or 2 seasons, and then it got canceled. The Outsiders. Now, The Outsiders was like it's like, imagine like that one show where they hunt down ghosts and do paranormal activity. It's literally just that, but like for kids. Really fucking stupid. Tower Prep. Imagine Degrassi, but you take out all the sex, the drugs, the liquor, but you keep anxious teen element, but you make them go on like adventures to where they're practically gonna fucking die. That's literally what Tower Prep was. Out of Jimmy's Head. Out of Jimmy's Head was about a boy got hit by a train at an amusement park, and so he gets surgery done at the park, and from now on, for some reason, he just sees all the cartoon characters in front of him. Nobody can see them but him. Kind of makes him look like he's a little schizophrenic. I don't know, it just wasn't good. Neither was the movie Reanimated that caused them to do a spin-off show called Out of Jimmy's Head based off of that show. Same actor from both the movie and the show. But alrighty guys, that is it for the video. Like I mentioned, I'm sorry if I offended anybody and just brought up a show that someone absolutely liked. I apologize, but like I said, this was my own biased list of Cartoon Network shows, and I just generally didn't like any of these shows listed on my computer. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you're a brand new guys. We are finally in December, the last month to get this channel to 100 subscribers. What the fuck are you doing? Click the subscribe button. I have high hopes we can get this channel to 100 subscribers by the end of 2020. So let's make that happen. If you want to connect more with me, hit up my links to the social media description below. I'm talking Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Patreon. If you want to do more to support me in the future as well as this channel, hit up my Patreon account. I got awesome tier rewards for different tier members. And if you want to see more of me, hit up my main channel, Pokemon 1086, video game reviews, and I talk about video games. And if you want to subscribe to that channel too, be my guest. Subscribe to that channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I am AfroGeek +UltraNappy, and your boy is just...